What's up, guys? It's Joe at National Sports Entertainment, and I just want to run through to the NBA schedule for tonight. As I went over my last video, I go over this every video, but if you missed my college and hockey picks, they were the video right before this. I always do them first because they're based off metrics, whereas these are more line changes and narrative. So, due to a line change, I really like the Magic to cover. You could see they're only getting 2 points. And I was going to just take the money line, but there was a game yesterday, the Heat Bulls, that the 2 points wound up for a lot of people. That I took the Heat personally, but for a lot of people that took the Hawks, they wound up pushing instead of losing because they got the 2 points. And a while back, people were... And I wound up pushing on the Hawks as well. But a while back, there's a few different people that brought up, like, 1.5 points, 2.5 points. Why are you buying points? Why not just do the money line? And you'd be shocked the amount of times that it is a 2-point game or a 1-point game and people lose. So, anyway, I like Orlando here to cover the spread. I think that they do. There's a reason it's set up this way. I'm guessing Giannis isn't playing. ESPN gives the most phony injury reports anyway. But yeah, so they got him and Drew out. Usually when they're both out, they don't, obviously, they got Chris, but they don't really get into much of a groove. But even with that, it's not like they're playing a team that the public is looking at. And the public's not looking at guys like maybe Bull. He's playing pretty good. But they're not looking at the Wagners. They're not looking at Fulks. They're not looking at these guys that Terrence Ross, that are actually doing a decent job, Cole Anthony. So I think even on a just as far as believability goes, Magic makes sense. But also, again, I think they want to keep them close to the Pacers. You see they're 3 games behind the Wizards here. So I don't think they can fall too far out of contention. They're the only team besides the Pacers that are still that are in contention with the Wizards, Bulls, and Raptors. So I don't know why they, with 17 games left, would just stop. Would just end it, have them be 4 games out and basically out of the playoffs. So I like the Magic a lot. Not to belabor it, I like them for a few different reasons. The point line and all that. Wizards, Pistons here, I do like the Wizards to cover. I think they're going to make them look strong. Again, I think they're going to be about, like I said, between 3-4 games like they are now, below 5, maybe closer to 2 games below 500. They're not going to be, in my opinion, finishing above 500, but they're going to finish as a play-in team, I think. I think it's going to be them and the Bulls, MJ's teams. So I think they cover here, and if you noticed, I'll go to 31 and 34. They do love that number. So when that's there, too, I always like that. Then we got Hornets next. I'm going to take, in this one, just because of the way they're being presented, I'm going to take the Knicks to cover. I thought they were going to establish them as like a mid-seed. It seems more like they're just trying to establish the entire... Now, every team essentially in the East as berserk. They started the season off doing it with the West. Teams like the Wolves, the Jazz. You still have the Kings. Oh, thanks, Mike. We're hopefully we have some good luck. Like I said, it really comes down to numbers at the end of the day. But hoping for hockey. We got some plus odds. Yeah, you're probably talking about that. But thank you. But yeah, they're just establishing every team. Look at the Cavs. Look what they just did. So. I just think they're going to have the Knicks pummel a casualty team here, that being the Hornets, and I'll take them to cover. I noticed they moved the cover from like 8 to 10, maybe like they're trying to get people on the Hornets. So I like the Knicks here for that cover. Put them at 40 wins. Also, I brought this up before. They're doing it in both sports. They almost crammed the entire NFC East into the playoffs because if you notice, they added a playoff seed, even though it made it uneven, the 7, but that's fine. And they did the same thing in basketball by adding the play-ins. What this does, and it's just so they can set these new stupid records, it's going to set up the inevitable entire division getting in. And that very well might happen with the Raptors, where the Raptors, Nets, Knicks, Celtics, and Sixers all get in for this first time ever. All teams in the division. We'll see if that happens. They're really pushing, if you haven't noticed, the East this year. Look at the AFC East, look at the NFC East, and now look at the Atlantic Division. They are pushing the East for some reason. So I'm going to keep my eyes on baseball, but it's just interesting that you could see where they'll take the markets. Something's up in New York. And I'm not trying to belabor these points, but I haven't done a narrative video in quite a while. I haven't done a video going into really why I like these teams. It's not like every night I'm just like, oh, I like this team. There's a rhyme and reason for why I really think certain teams are going to do good, bad, and why I think they're pushing certain agendas. Here we got Sixers, Wolves, and this is going to be great because we're going to have Embiid and I think Gobert going, against each other. That's probably why it's on TNT. I still think they're going to have Embiid do good. And it's just one of those games that I looked at, and even though I think Embiid's going to do good, again, it's scripted, it's rigged. I don't know why Minnesota's -2. So I went to the injury report, and again, they're full of baloney with the injury reports. They'll say a dude is on death row, he's healthy as a horse. They'll say a guy just got done running a marathon, and then they're wheeling him out to the court. But you could see, from what I can tell, not seeing an injury there, so I don't understand the line, to be honest, with no injuries. And then on Minnesota's side, Cat's still out. So I really not understanding why the Wolves are a 2-point favorite. And isn't it funny how they lose a superstar, right? This is how people have to look at it. They paid a lot of money to get Russell and Edwards. They get rid of Russell. They really get nothing in return, where they get Mike Conley or something. They really get nothing in return. And their team improves. Meanwhile, the other teams get worse. This is what people have, there's no way. At the end of the day, talent is talent. I understand you have to be a cohesive unit. But the Wolves would not be winning after getting rid of these guys. But my point is, it doesn't matter. I like the Wolves to cover here. The line doesn't make sense to me. And the Sixers can afford the loss. It also makes them and the Knicks closer, which they've been flirting with. Robinson saying he's the best center in the East, all these different things. I could definitely see an Embiid, Mitchell Robinson rivalry. And maybe they're going to start him off with Gobert, another tough center. So anyway, I like the Wolves cover here. Nets, Rockets, nothing crazy here. I like the Rockets cover. I could see this being the straight upset game because I don't see many people at all taking the Rockets to straight beat the Nets, especially when it's only 6 points. But the reason I like the Rockets is because of a few reasons. Again, the 6 points is a little light, and also it's Kenyon Martin's son. Kenyon Martin's son's on the Rockets playing his old team. So the first time that they play, they've actually made Kmart Jr. look like a beast, specifically on the boards and defense. So I have a feeling he's going to look good against his old team, and that's just my opinion. So I'm going to take the Rockets there for the cover, and they're terrible against the spread. Like I said, most people won't be taking them. I don't think so. I will. Thunder Warriors. I'm going to take the Thunder. Mostly for the same reason I faded the Warriors yesterday. It put them at a record of 34-31. I told people, this is the 19th time now, how important the number is. I don't use gematria, but if I see 31-34, I am going to. And in this case, I just find it so funny how the Warriors, they happen to start off. Just look at the records they started off with. It's it was insane. 3-1, then 4-3, and then 13-14, and it was just insane. Every time there was a 3, a 1, and a 4, they got it somehow. So yeah, I think they stay on 34 wins, and they put the Thunder on 31 as well. So 31-34, and I'll take the Thunder with the points though. I'm still going to take the 4. And I think for the playoffs, it's important they win. Jazz, Mavs. Here I do have the Mavs. Another one that would put the Jazz. Jazz are currently at 31-34. But this one, I just think the Mavs go on a little bit of a run here. I don't think they're going to be finishing as a question mark. Same with the Warriors. Even though I have them losing tonight, Mavs, Warriors, I don't think they're going to be finishing like the Jazz, Wolves, Blazers, Lakers, Thunders, where it's they're all fighting to get in. I think Mavericks are going to be established. Whether they have some bad games, I think they do cover here. And they've been making the Jazz look good, so people probably might take the Jazz with the points there. And then we got Grizzlies, Lakers, and this one, again, it's just because I don't understand this logic. If even Steven Adams is playing, I 100% could say, okay, the Lakers are missing Russ. They really only got LeBron. LeBron. Let me see because again, sometimes they're just very misleading. But okay, so yeah, LeBron's out. Okay, I thought he was. So they got AD. They still have Russell. Reeves isn't playing good. So I mean, it's not like they don't have anybody. When AD and LeBron are out, I kind of get it. But just LeBron being out, I don't. I don't understand why it's an even line when you are missing Ja. Their backbone, Steven Adams, and Brandon Clark. It just doesn't make sense to me. So here I absolutely love the Grizzlies. I think people are going to be all over the Lakers. And I think they want to punish Ja. I think they want to show how the team is better without him, And it kind of kills two birds with one stone because they're also showing how LeBron, when he gets back from this injury, that now I remember, he said he was injured for a few weeks. Now when he gets back from that injury, he can go on a little bit of a run, put the team on his back, and he'll look like a Superman. So I think it makes sense that the Lakers are not in like a 9, 8, 9, 10 spot, but closer to an 11, 12, 13 spot when LeBron comes back. So I like the Grizzlies a lot this game. And as I do with every video, as I do with my college videos, it's as simple as just plugging in. So the first one I went over here was Magic. This line does not make any sense at all to me. I don't understand why it's 2 points. So we're going to look just for a leg 2 loss where we lost leg 1 and leg 2. Like I said, we've actually closed most of them in the last couple of days. Here we go. The Heat did not cover the Knicks the other night, so we will plug the Magic cover Bucks in there. And they're all the same principle, same thing. You just plug them in. So some of these are leg 1s. Rockets is a leg 1. The Wolves cover is a leg 1. The Wizards cover is a leg 1. And the Knicks cover is a leg 1. But I do like these 3 Western matchups as leg 2s. I like the Thunders to cover the Warriors as a leg 2. And again, the goal is just to close out sequences, and we'll always be at a +1 unit. And sometimes better if we say we get the Ducks tonight. Ones like that. Then we got Mavs cover Jazz. And what I do also sometimes, just so you know, is you could play a 1 o'clock, a 7 o'clock game like the Knicks cover, and say the Knicks don't cover. Then all you need to do is wait, and then for the 10 o'clock game, because we have the Lakers playing at 10, I believe, you could plug that in as leg 2 then, or leg 3 then. Again, it doesn't matter which one you're plugging them in for. It just matters that if you lose leg 1, you go to leg 2, leg 3. I do this so people can see exactly, like literally, if they just want to copy and paste mine. If you're literally following me every step of the way. But yeah, it doesn't matter which leg 1. So again, if Notre Dame's not the cover, I think they're a 7 o'clock, you can plug in the Lakers or the Grizzlies to beat the Lakers as a leg 2, or the Thunder cover as a leg 2. But however you want to do it. Again, the end of the day, this is our goal, just closing these out before we get to leg 3. And if we get to a third leg, close that out. But I don't want to make this too long, but I also didn't want to just run through the picks. I wanted to explain why I like them and why it's important, because it's not just for this game. It's going forward, and if we have an idea of why they're losing certain games, we can kind of see what they're going to have them do in the next game. And if certain players are out and they're playing a certain way, all of that. They like to set narratives, as you can see with the Mavs and Suns. So if you didn't see my hockey and college video, that one's a lot shorter. I think it's shorter. It wasn't that long. But I did that one last night. And between the both of them, we got a good bit in play. And with a good weekend, like between now and Sunday, so basically end of the week through the weekend, I honestly believe we can get to around 150 units netted, because we've just either had break-even days or positive days ever since crossing 100. So it's going to be, I think more of the same, especially with hockey introduced and baseball coming up. So take care, everybody. Happy earnings.